Hello and welcome back.
Oh, yes.
Ah, yes. Hello and welcome back to my channel. And Nick is back.
Hello.
We want to say, yay, Nick.
That guy stinks!
Anyway, so we are back with another Am I the Asshole video. And this one is going to be work related. So,
I just worked today.
I had orientation today. I start work tomorrow, so hopefully it's good. We'll see. The links to all of these will be in the description box down below if you are interested. This first one is, am I the asshole for not wearing a bra to work? Oh my god. What? Alright, this is easily the most absurd controversy that I've ever been involved in my life.
I don't wear a bra to work.
Where?
My nipples are showing.
They're always out and proud. Day one of my new job, I wear a sweater and pants to work. I do not wear a bra. I have never worn a bra for 2 years at my previous job, and no one has ever brought it up. I obviously have not been wearing a bra at home for the past year during lockdown. I hate bras. I find them very uncomfortable and unnecessary. 2 people came up to me during the day and said what I'm wearing is inappropriate and that I should wear a bra to work. This is a new job. I don't even know these people. I'm literally wearing a sweater. You can't see anything. I'm all covered up. You can't see anything except the shape of my boobs, I guess. One woman literally told me these words as she was complaining about my clothes. I have large boobs, but I feel that what I'm wearing is completely normal. Day 2 of my new job, I don't wear a bra, but I wear a t-shirt and jacket on top of that. I am dressed even more conservatively than day 1. 2 more people gave me similar criticisms again. One of them is the secretary of my supervisor, so this is getting serious. I mentioned to her that the office literally has no dress code and that employees can wear what is comfortable. She says that there is still an unspoken etiquette to be followed. She also mentioned that the shape of my boobs were clearly visible. For the 2 years I spent at my previous office, I didn't wear a bra once. I usually wore sweaters or t-shirts or blouses most of the time with a jacket. Even though I may have large breasts, I didn't see it as inappropriate or a problem. Am I the asshole here? You can't see my nipples through my clothes. A lot of you seem to be under that impression. Apparently it's obvious that I'm not wearing a bra even though my nipples are not visible. What do you think?
I think we need pictures.
Shut up! I feel like a lot of people don't wear bras nowadays.
I wouldn't...
I feel like free the nip is a big thing.
I think I wouldn't care. But there is a issue with distraction during work.
But again, just like any other dress code issue in school, why are you looking? Is that my stomach or yours?
I think it was a cat.
Oh. Anyway, yeah, I don't know.
Hey, men are pigs.
Yeah. And I feel like I wonder if it depends on your age too, because I feel like young people have
Also, you know what this job is.
been. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound like it sounds like a office, so it's not like they're like doing cash register stuff with their tits hanging out. So I don't know. I don't think it matters. Personally, I don't think it really matters. Maybe because her boobies are big.
Yeah. Maybe just be an HR thing, too. But at that point, they should just have a dress code enforced.
Yeah, but even on any dress code, I have never seen that you have to wear a bra. So, I think it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't care one way or the other.
Yeah. Am I the asshole for not making my boyfriend lunches for work?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I'm good.
I, 24 female, make my boyfriend, 24 male, sandwiches for work. I started this as a token of my appreciation and also to cut down his spending, as he often spends 10 to 20 pounds a day on lunch. So this person is British. I enjoyed doing that as he really liked them and appreciated it a lot, and I liked knowing he always ate. I stopped doing this as often, and then he complained that I don't appreciate him anymore and how it seems like I don't care as much. This kind of put me off of doing it, as I was doing it as a token of love and appreciation, and now it feels like an expectation. If I don't do it, he's not happy, sort of thing, which puts me off more. Now I feel trapped into always having to make him lunches for work. 3, by the way. God, that's a lot of sandwiches.
Why is he making 3 lunches?
And part of me wishes I never did, as I didn't realize I was entering an unwritten contract. For context, I also make my lunches for work and often sort dinner, even though he gets home hours earlier than I do. He goes to the gym, though. However, he starts a lot earlier. Am I the asshole? And then there's like a update.
Uh-huh.
I
gotta go through the updates.
Huh?
You gotta go through the updates.
Well, I thought we would...
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Okay,
it says for a little further context. Okay, let's read that. For a little further context, I recently injured my neck in a work-related injury, so I'm also home all the time and have been for the last couple of weeks because of not being fit to work. So he said last night about how he doesn't feel appreciated as dinner wasn't ready for him when he got home from the gym, and mentioned how I don't really make him lunches anymore, which is what spurred the post. I said I could put dinner on now, it was just going to be some quick air-fried stuff, so it would have taken 20 minutes, and he made a point of saying that he wasn't hungry now and how he doesn't want to eat so late. I told him he was hungry 3 minutes ago, and it doesn't take long to cook, but he was insistent on even if I did cook, he wouldn't eat it, and it would be wasted. I told him I didn't want to eat without him, and he told me to starve then.
sounds like an asshole to me.
Sure does. I caved and made the sandwiches for the morning as I felt guilty and apologized for him not doing better. He barely spoke to me and went straight to sleep. This morning he has been off with me, so I asked if there was anything he wanted to talk about, and he said no. I asked if it was to do with the lack of appreciation thing, and essentially it is. He said that he's tired of having to tell me the same thing over and over, and it's pointless as nothing will change. I do want to add that he has started getting me my nails done every 3 weeks, so he does treat me. I want to explain to him about the expectations thing, but I think it'll just cause further arguments, so I'm not sure what to do. I feel like I shouldn't be expected to do things for him, but at the same time I feel like an asshole. I think he
sounds like an asshole.
Yeah.
It feels like there's a lot of like masculine energy going on.
Yeah, and I don't know. I wonder if
what's that term called where like the not old fashioned, but I'll use old fashioned.
Where he expects the wife to do everything for him, basically.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's like dinner should be on the table ready when I get home. Like,
And if the lunch is an issue, he can just make it the night before, so he doesn't have to make it in the morning.
Yeah, it's the expectation thing. I totally get that. Like, it's one thing if you do it because you want to, but if you feel like you have to, you don't want to do it anymore. I don't know. I mean, it's also like, well, has anything else changed in your relationship besides just not cooking for him? Because if he feels like he's unappreciated, are you telling him and showing him that you appreciate him still in other ways?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you just completely, like, not giving him any attention? Because you can still show him appreciation in other ways if you don't feel like making sandwiches anymore, you know? But, yeah, he sounds awful. But he has started getting her nails done. Which, I don't know. That doesn't sound like... I mean, it'd be one thing if they were, like, going out to do something together, but I feel like that's something she does by herself.
And she is also injured.
Yeah, which in one way I get that, like, she shouldn't be expected to do that if she's injured, but on the other hand, she's at home, so she might as well. I mean, I just had a work injury as well. If I was home for the past several weeks, I mean, I would probably do stuff around the house, so I don't know. But I don't think she's in the wrong at all for not making him lunches anymore. I wouldn't either. Okay. Am I the asshole for demanding my fiancé tell his coworkers that he will not be renewing his vows with his work wife when they return to the office? Wow. My fiancé, Mark, works closely with a woman, Megan. They both have similar responsibilities and need to work together as a team. I've never had any problems with this. They don't really interact outside of work. We have been working from home the last several weeks. I happened to be in the living room with him yesterday while his office had their weekly Zoom meeting. During that meeting, people began talking about what they wanted to do when everyone returned to the office. I could hear someone say that my fiance and Megan must really miss each other. Several other people began referring to them as work wife and work husband. Then someone suggested that my fiance and Megan should renew their vows when everyone is back in the office. Mark just played along and joked that they would be registered at Office Depot. I left the living room in tears while he continued, oblivious to how I was feeling. I confronted him after the call and said I felt humiliated. Our wedding was supposed to be in September, but we've had to postpone it, and it's not clear when it'll be safe to reschedule. And here he is talking about renewing his vows with someone from work. Mark explained that it was just a joke and not a big deal. He tried to show me some joke article that his office has been passing around about how teleworking is ruining work-wife relationships. I said that the term work-wife itself is offensive and humiliating because I'm supposed to be his wife. I demanded that at his next meeting, he needs to publicly apologize to his office, tell him that he will not be renewing his vows with Megan because he is engaged to marry someone else. I said he also needs to tell his office that they need to stop calling him and Megan work spouses. He says he can't do that because it will be embarrassing and hurt his reputation at work with his colleagues. I said, "Oh, is it hard to feel embarrassed? I would never know what that's like." He called me an asshole. Now that I've cooled down a little, I need to figure out if I have overreacted.
Probably a little bit. A little overreaction.
I don't know. I mean, I don't share. So, like...
Well, I mean...
if
we also don't know if the vows thing was a joke.
Oh, it was absolutely a joke.
And if there is actually written vows. Which there probably is not.
I don't think any of that's real. I don't think they actually love each other at work and they're cheating or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But, like... if you're in a relationship, you shouldn't have a work wife. To me, you know, especially if like the whole office is in on the joke, like that's a little suspicious. I don't know. I don't like that. I feel like I would get really pissed off if I heard that you were work husband with someone. I would be like, "Excuse you, no, you're not."
I feel like it's just a weird term in general.
It's a weird term, and also it's weird to be that close with someone you work with.
Because usually you keep work and
private life private.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Keep them separated.
Yeah. I don't agree that he needs to tell the whole office to stop. Like,
not want to do that.
That just makes it seem like, yeah, my fiance said I can't do this anymore. Like, oh, she sounds like a bitch. Like, you know, I don't think that would go over well.
My mom said I had to apologize for yesterday.
Yeah. No. I mean, that's stupid. But also, I could understand her being like, hey, let's tone it down. Like, see if you can tell him to, like, oh, you know, it's nothing. Get over it, basically. Because it is something that would irritate me. So I'm sure it irritated her, especially, like, that came out of nowhere, and she was in the room, and it's like, what? So, I don't know.
It also depends on how close, I guess, all their coworkers are. Like,
yeah.
How their relationships are outside of work as well.
Yeah, because he says that they don't spend time outside of work, but I don't know if the whole team does anything outside of work or anything, but a little weird. This got tagged as everyone sucks. I don't know if I agree with that. I think it would be no one's the asshole.
Well, I think she's overreacting a little bit. And then the whole work wife thing is kind of weird to begin with.
I guess.
So it's going to go around everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't like it. Am I the asshole for hiding my personal life at work? I'm in a little trouble at work because I've been sort of hiding my personal life. I've worked in this office for about 9 years, working my way up. I'm notoriously private and also believe in a clear separation of work and home life. With that, I never ever talk about my home life. I'm not ashamed of my life, I just don't discuss it at work. My coworkers enjoy talking about their personal lives and often include me. If I'm asked any questions, I usually redirect or move on to someone else. In this manner, none of my coworkers knew I'm married, have twin daughters, and a very active personal life. We hired Melinda... Are you farting?
No.
We hired Melinda last year, and she took it upon herself to become the office snoop. She spent several weeks getting as close to everyone as possible. However, she does this to seek out potentially useful information she can hold over people's head. Yep, that happens. Try as she did, I never gave her anything. My coworkers viewed me as a sort of enigma. Compartmentalization aside, I've made some great relationships at work, friendships at work. There are more things to talk about than my husband and my kids. They are a big part of my life, but I'm not even going to martyr myself and say they're the most important. Because you're going to say that they are the most important. They're hugely important and come before everything else, but I'm not sick of... What is with these words? I don't like her words. And I enjoy the 10 hours a day I'm at work when I get to be an adult and talk about things other than JoJo Siwa and the newest Jendashian. Oh, okay. Like Jenner and Kardashian exploit. Okay. Last week, Friday, Melinda came into work and looked like the cat who got the goldfish. At lunch, she announced to everyone that I am married with 2 daughters, a dog, and a nice house. I play softball, I kayak, and occasionally mountain climb, and that I am on Facebook. She couldn't see my posts, however. Some of my photos are shared with others and therefore are not private. I used a shortened version of my name, Allie from Alexandra, and my married name on Facebook, so I'm not sure how she found me unless she used white pages and put 2 and 2 together. I've already reported her to HR. But the problem is, my coworkers are acting like this is a big effing deal. One of my friends said she's hurt that I don't trust any of them and hold them in such low regard. I tried to explain that it's nothing against anyone, I just don't like discussing at home at work, and vice versa. I never bring work home. Whenever I'm home, that's time with my kids or my dog or my husband or friends and hobbies. I choose to leave an hour outside of the city in a small town just to avoid work when I'm not there. I've apologized if any feelings were hurt, but coworkers are now giving me the chill and won't talk to me unless it's directly about work. I honestly don't see the problem. I've never lied to them. I've never given them false info. Never made up wild tales about my life. I'm still the same person as I am. They just know more about me than they did. Am I the asshole?
What's below
that? This has been posted 3 times today. I didn't know Reddit was having trouble earlier.
Oh.
And then these are relevant comments.
Yeah. I don't think she's the asshole.
Not at all.
What was the name of the Melinda?
Melinda is the girl.
Melinda's the asshole.
Yeah, well, I have been in a situation where there was someone who was snooping and doing stuff like that. They actually got me fired. They had me resign. And that was a really big deal because I was minding my own business and I was doing my job. And they still had me fired because it was a probationary period. It was like a new job and whatever. So this kind of pisses me off because I'm sure Alexandra was minding her own business and this girl came out of nowhere and tried to ruin her life, and that's what they do.
To keep those secrets.
There's nothing wrong with not wanting to be too close.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of problems happen at work from getting too close to people. Like, I've been told on multiple occasions, don't get too close to people you work with. Don't tell anybody that anything that they can put over your head, because they will. Even if you think they're your friends, they still are looking out for themselves, especially if you're going for the same job or something. They're gonna turn on you because it's at that point, like, work matters more to a lot of people. So, I agree with the OP of being like, I'm not gonna talk to you guys about my home life, and I'm not gonna talk at home about you guys. Like, So I completely agree with her. She is a sweet little angel baby, and I feel sorry for her. Yeah. Am I the asshole for embarrassing a lunch thief at work? So pretty much the title. I don't think I'm the asshole, but I've been getting some flack for it, so I really want to clear this up. So I started a new job recently. I work in a small studio, and there are several others in the building. Think open plan office with some sections applied to each studio. The person I had an altercation with doesn't work for my studio, just FYI. I eat lunch at 1 p.m.-ish, and most people eat at 12. I came down early to eat at 12. I made coffee, and while on the counter, I noticed my Tupperware in the sink empty. Imagine my surprise when I turned around and saw a man I don't know sitting down at the table with my food on his plate. He had just stuck it in the microwave. Acting rashly since I was mad, I sat down next to him and said, "Hey, that looks good. Mind if I try it?" Then before waiting for an answer, I yanked the plate away from him and snatched his fork out of his hand. He just blinked in shock, as did the other people there as I started eating. He then quite loudly asked what I thought I was doing. And I replied, this was actually much better when I first cooked it. It probably lost some flavor in the fridge. He caught on quickly that it was my food and went a little red. I then asked him where he got the gall to steal someone else's lunch and then asked them what they were doing when they took it back. He stuttered out some nonsense about not knowing it was mine, and I replied, "Well, you knew it wasn't yours, right?" He just mumbled something like an apology, and I said, "That's no problem. It was nice he'd warmed it up for me at least," in an admittedly bitchy tone, and then he just got up and left, and that people just stared in silence. Two of the silent watchers, maybe his mates, I don't know, told me that I was rude to him, and there had been nicer ways to go about it. I told him that to think how they'd feel if someone ate their food before saying they should focus on their lunch, and I'll focus on mine. Well, it's been a little awkward at lunch since, and I have the impression a few people are still talking shite about me at work now. Maybe I could have been nicer, sure. I don't think I was wrong, but tell me, am I the asshole? This is something I would do, honestly, because I would have been furious, and that's something I would have snatched it away from him. Honestly, I would have screamed in their face because I can't regulate my emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So I do not think they're the asshole. I think that is an appropriate response to someone stealing your stuff and eating your food.
I probably would have been more professional about it.
Well, of course you would.
Mm-hmm. And not made a whole big scene.
Yeah, because that makes you look really bad.
Uh-huh. Because even if you aren't the asshole, it makes you look like the asshole in the moment.
And also, like, you're at work.
Yeah.
But I would have done it. So.
Because that could also probably be seen as harassment.
Yeah.
Or threatening to HR.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're snatching stuff out of his hand. And yelling at him. And a lot of places are, like, zero tolerance for stuff like that. And they would be like, I don't care what they did. They didn't lay their hands on you. You had no reason to do that. So. And
you also don't know if this is like the first instance. If this happened like more than this one time, then I could see you going a little bit over the edge, like you did. But maybe someone does make food for him and brings it in.
I don't know. Maybe, but I would have been pissed.
Or maybe like people make like bulk, like big amounts of food.
If that's the case, they need to put something on there, like a note or something. But I don't know.
Or just label your food.
Yeah. I mean, everyone should probably label their food, but yeah, that sounds like something I would do. Anyway. Am I the asshole for telling my wife it is time she went back to work?
Nope.
My wife has been out of work since 2018. She had a mental breakdown during her 5th year of teaching. She had been going to therapy since, and we started marriage counseling during COVID. The reason for marriage counseling was because she thought I was pushing her too hard to go back to work before her and her therapist thought she was ready. I tried to explain many times that it was not my intent, but realistically speaking, for me to keep up with expenses and retirement contributions, I pretty much have to take on extra shifts, which sometimes clock in over 18 hours a day. And on average, I've been pulling 84-hour weeks. I've been doing this since she stopped working. We recently had a fight because I had an extremely tough week and had the conversation again about her going back to work. She opened up with the same line she always does. We do not feel it is the right time yet. Feels like I've made great progress, and if I rush in, I run the risk of losing it.
Oh, just the math. 84 divided by 7, assuming he works all 7 days a week, is 12 hours.
He probably doesn't work weekends.
Uh-huh. That's probably more.
Yeah. Yeah, 16. Then lunch.
So probably 16 hours.
That's wild. That's too much. Okay. We do not feel it is the right time yet. She feels like I have made great progress, and if I rush into it, I run the risk of losing it.
She also doesn't... Oh, I'll let you finish. But she also doesn't have to go back to that job specifically.
Right. The we being her and her therapist. I told her I really do not give a fuck what her therapist has to say, and I'm sick of you hiding behind her words whenever this topic comes up. Okay. She started to cry, telling me she does not like being this way either, and I am belittling her due to suffering from mental health issues. I replied saying I do not intend to belittle you or take your issues seriously. Problem is, I'm running myself ragged. What happens if I have a mental break? Do you think I'll have the luxury of not working? No, I'll have to push through my demons. She said her therapist wanted her she said her therapist warned her this would happen sooner or later. I would try to manipulate her into doing something she was not ready to do. This is when I really lost it and let it all out. I did not say anything kind. I told her she insults me for thinking what I'm doing is manipulation. I told her I'm working these extra shifts so she can be home and bullshit playing games. I told her during this entire time you have not even made an effort to improve on certain skills. Told her she could not cook to save her life, and that I was sick of coming home after 12 or 18-hour days just to make us dinner, because her idea of making dinner is pretty much a pre-made in the oven or ordering out. Among other things, she said that said, she stormed out of the house crying, yelling, and shouting how I'm a piece of shit, and rather seeing myself comfortable versus her getting better. Okay, so here I am. I do not feel at the core I'm wrong, and while what I said was harsh, I think it did have to be said. So Reddit, was I the asshole here? So, do you want me to read the edits?
Sure, do the edits.
Okay. I have been to a couple of sessions with my wife and her therapist. To be honest, it largely felt like I was being ganged up on. My wife brought up how I was always tired, so I explained I'm working harder to maintain our home. When I suggested part-time work would allow me to work less, their counter-suggestion was to cut things off like saving for retirement and hold off on paying debt and tackle such things after my wife gets better. Then I suggest renting out the house to cover the mortgage and we downsize to an apartment. Her therapist said such a drastic change to her environment could have negative impact on her depression and advises against such major life-changing events. During another session, she brought up how my suggestion she tries cooking to save. During another session, she brought up how my suggestion she tries cooking to save is money. What are you talking about? So we do not order out so much. She felt insulted because in terms of money coming in, I am making slightly more than our combined income, and she was able to cover her expenses, so she does not understand why we're having such a hard time. I was honest, it has less to do with money per se, and more the fact of hours I have to work to maintain the income. I told her I pretty much am working 2 full-time jobs. The cooking or doing things around the house was dropped fairly quickly and became a critic on how I cannot manage money since I'm making more, yet I never had issues when she was working with how she spent. More or less every session became what I could do to help my wife, and I get her therapist has to look out for my wife, and generally my concerns are small compared to my wife's. My wife is not a huge fan of our marriage counselor because she offers suggestions that go against her therapist. My friend has also suggested I speak with a lawyer to see what exactly my options are. After reading many of the comments and thinking back on everything, I'm going to do that. I love my wife and I know she is sick, but I'm good to no one if I keep up this pace. Okay, final edit. It was a slow morning, only had 1 field call. Okay. After talking, I decided to put in a request for 2 weeks vacation. During that time, I'm going to relax with my friends, play some Baldur's Gate 2. I don't know what that is.
That's a video game.
I assume.
Remember the D&D game that?
Oh, okay.
That's the one before that.
Okay. And also get my shit together. Going to speak with a lawyer and see what my options are because I was young and dumb and much of her debt is mine because I co-signed and have a joint account. I'll go to the doctor for the first time in 4 years and make sense everything is still working as it should. During this time, my friend said I could crash at their place, so I'm going to take him up on that offer. Ooh. This will be my final post here. I made the post for all the wrong reasons. This is something that should not have been posted publicly, and I was petty for that. I thank everyone because a lot of what was said was something I needed to hear. I do not have much in terms of family. Both of my parents passed. Thanks for the tough love. Something has to change, and if my wife is unable to do it, I have to do it. I am young. I should be enjoying my life, even though I'm not even 30 yet. I aged so much these past 5 years, and it is scary. My friend showed me pictures before all this happened. I want to go to the person I was then. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I have a lot of mental issues. So, like, I kind of get the wife, but also, like, I've been pushed to the limit a lot, and it doesn't sound like she's trying. Like, I am very strong, and, like, I push through. So, like, she should be pushing. She's not trying. Also, he is working a lot, and this past year, I had been working a lot, like 60 plus hours a week, and I agree. I have aged so much in the past year, and working all those hours and getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning every day, I had no purpose in life, and it was really hard for me to even live. So, like, I kind of get what both of them are saying, and also, like, she's at home, so why isn't she helping more? She can get a part-time job at Michael's or something, like something calm and easy. That's
She doesn't have to go back to the kids at the school.
Yeah, I mean, being a teacher, that's a lot of work, but you can be a part-time job at the library or at the community service or something.
To the back of the school, you go get an office job.
Yeah, like, there are so many options. She's not trying.
And it almost sounds like she's victimizing herself.
Absolutely. She is absolutely victimizing herself.
Depression is a real illness. Mm-hmm. But she's weaponizing it against him.
Absolutely.
Along with the therapist.
Absolutely.
Feels like they're working in cahoots.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Because working 16 hours a day
I couldn't imagine.
is wild.
I could not imagine. Because 60 hours a week and I was losing my mind. I couldn't imagine 80-hour work weeks. Like,
because just think, if you sleep 8 hours a night, that's leaving at max 4 hours to do anything else other than work a day.
And they have a commute, go to and from work. She is...
Did they say how long he was doing this for?
It said like 5 years. Well, I aged so much in these last 5 years. Since 2018, and this was a year ago, it says. August 14th, 2023. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 5 years!
Yeah, if he's been working 80 hours a week for 5 years, and she's not doing anything.
5 years! I would get out.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like divorce.
That sounds like divorce. She sounds crazy. And
also,
not in the fun way,
yeah,
no.
If you wanted to prove a point, you just go back to how you were working before and see how the difference is.
He's screwing himself in that situation, though.
Probably just work on separating the expenses. It does suck that all the debt is from her.
Yeah, she sounds sucky. They were saying that he needs to stop contributing to his retirement.
Yeah, that's wild.
Are you out of your mind? That is hilarious. Like, if someone told me to stop contributing to my retirement, I've been like, get out of my face.
Was the therapist the one that also said rent out the house as well?
Yeah, rent out the house. And, well, no, he said rent out the house to have an apartment, and then the therapist said, oh, that's too drastic of a change. She can't handle that. She's not a dog.
Yeah.
Like, you can adapt to change.
It's not a goldfish adapting to new water.
Literally. She's not going to die and float upside down if you get a new house. And he shouldn't even have to go down to an apartment. That's not his problem. That's hers.
And they have to live within their means. If they're living outside of their means and he's working himself like a workhorse...
He's working too much and too hard. It would literally be better for him to, like, live alone.
Yeah.
In his little apartment that he wanted. Hope you had a prenup because she sounds terrible.
Yeah.
I kind of sympathize with her because of the issues that I have, but also she is making herself such a victim.
Yeah.
I would never do that.
You can do something. You can always do something.
Yeah, that's awful.
It's a choice to do nothing.
Absolutely. All right. Am I the asshole for ordering tequila shots for my work colleagues at Friday lunchtime?
No.
I, 26 male, work in a busy lab, medical diagnostics, and every Friday we go out as a team, 6 to 7 people, to a local sports bar to have team building lunch on the boss's company card. Yesterday our boss was swamped with deadlines, but said the rest of us could go anyway as long as we paid for any alcoholic drinks ourselves. Why are they having alcohol at lunch?
I mean...
If you're going back to work after that, absolutely not.
Oh, verdict is asshole.
Huh. Usually the boss and 1 to 2 other people will order a small beer with their lunch. So I have consumed alcohol on the clock before in this job. That's so not right. I was even thinking that without the boss there, I might order a big beer this time. When we arrived, though, me and my work bro, 25 male, were drawn to a new offer the bar had on tequila shots. 5 for $10. Ooh, girl! In our defense, we had just had a very stressful morning, so we proposed to the team that we buy a single round of shots to commemorate it. A couple of our colleagues were a little reluctant, but after a little convincing, we were soon toasting to a morning of hard work. That's when my work bro proposed we order a second round of shots.
Oh, the second round is probably too many.
I have a pretty high tolerance to alcohol, so it was no problem for me. I knew for a fact we had a couple of lightweight colleagues. For example, a diminutive Asian lady who rarely drinks. Why she gotta be Asian? But we still managed to convince the rest of the table to drink with us a second time. After that, the 2 females tapped out, but the 3 remaining guys, oh god, decided to split 10 further tequila shots.
10?
10 further tequila
So
shots.
that's 4
2
rounds.
more. That's 4 rounds. In our defense, as far as team building goes, the outing was a roaring success.
Probably built a fucking castle
God.
over shot
Yeah.
glasses.
I think I learned more about my colleagues in those 1.5 hours than I could in the last 2 years. Unfortunately, when we got back to the office, because you're not done with the day, our boss could smell the tequila on my breath. My work bro very stupidly decided to be honest and told we had 5+ shots of alcohol at lunch. My boss's face turned bright red and he told us to all go home immediately, that it wasn't safe for us to be working in a lab while inebriated. I calmly explained to him that I, in fact, felt very sober. He wasn't having it. I'm genuinely worried about what's going to happen on Monday morning. The 2 female colleagues called me and my work bro assholes for taking it too far and getting everyone in trouble. It's their point of view, but on the other hand, we did have a really good time. I think any alcohol consumed during work hours is unacceptable. Unacceptable! I have worked, as you know, if you've been here a while, I have worked at liquor stores. We don't consume alcohol, though. We don't. And when we try it, we spit it out. We're not allowed to have alcohol during work hours, and there's a reason for that. I wouldn't have even done the first round, if I'm honest. 5 rounds later, absolutely not.
I could maybe see the first round, but anything after that is wild. Definitely should have just stuck with beers if you're going to drink anything, especially since you're going back to work. That 5 shot sounds like something you do after work.
Right, if this was after work, there wouldn't be an issue.
And the other colleagues probably felt peer pressured since they're there
I'm
as
sure. I am sure they did. Yeah. Wow. This person says, I'm pretty sure being inebriated while working in a medical diagnostic lab is a felony. You should be thankful you weren't fired.
Yeah, especially with all the stuff that is in that lab too that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Needles, chemicals. If they're testing any tests, go ahead.
Go ahead. There's an update. I'm sure a lot of you will be happy to know that me and my out-of-work bro got fired this morning.
No shit.
HR asked us why exactly we thought we could drink 6 tequila shots and then go back to the lab.
It was 5.
All we could think of was that in college we used to work hard and play hard, and it didn't affect our grades. They didn't like that excuse, because you're adults. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we were offered a plea bargain. HR accepted our resignations and promised a passing but not glowing reference for future employers on the condition we don't mention what happened to anyone ever again. I want to thank all of those who commented on the initial thread. I now accept that me and my work bro made a grievous error of judgment. We're not alcoholics, as some people suggested, but we're not in college anymore either. Personally, I will be laying off the hard liquor for a while and focus on rebuilding my career in medical diagnostics. And if in the future someone offers me a shot while I'm off the clock, I will say no thank you. Well, at least he learned. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
For sure.
That's wild.
Because I know, in school, when we were in school, and it was test day, we would go in, it was like a long day, it was like 8 till 4.
Of tests?
No, just like that's the school day. So usually on test day, we would have like a test at the beginning or the end, like the last 4 hours or the first 4 hours, and we have a lunch period. So most of the time we had like a test in like the first 4 hours from like 8 till 12 or 8 till 11. Mm-hmm. And it wouldn't take 3 hours or 4 hours to take the test. Usually it would take an hour. And the rest of the time we have to ourselves before we have to be back for class in the afternoon. So we did go get tacos and margaritas. And I was feeling the margarita during the second 4 hours of class.
But also that's school, not work.
Yeah. But also I was not paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't agree with having alcohol on work hours. School hours is a little different. Alright, next one, and final one. I have been at my job for a few months and a lady there is retiring next week. Last week at a work birthday party. What are you talking about? Last week at a work birthday cake break, our coordinator asked us to bring a bag of black balloons, black streamers, and a dish to pass, and I was okay with that. Later that day, I overheard her tell my direct boss about everyone pitching in for a nice extravagant gift. It's expensive. And that she knew that she would have to pay the bulk of it, but nothing was ever mentioned to the rest of us until today over email. The email basically said, the split cost for everyone is $12. You can bring cash or Venmo me and let me know how you're paying because I'm keeping track. Don't forget the balloons and dish to pass. For me, it's not the $12, it's the not asking if we even want or can chip in. She also doesn't know everyone's financial situation. Some people have second jobs. I've lived paycheck to paycheck before, and this can be a financial burden to some. The coordinator and this individual have worked together for years, and I get she wants to do something nice, but I should not feel obligated to do it. I also want to mention that I have worked at other jobs where the boss may say something like, so-and-so is retiring, if you want to chip in, you can, but don't feel like you have to. I also want to add the coordinator probably makes a good living, so am I the asshole?
I don't think so.
Not at all.
There definitely should have been like a poll of who wants to chip in. Especially since she's only been there for like a month. She doesn't know these people.
Yeah, no. Also, I have been at jobs where people have said if you want to, pitch in if you want to, you can pitch in however much you want or none.
Yeah.
And that is completely up to you. If someone told me that I had to pay $12 for some person I don't even know who's retiring, I'd be like, you can't tell me nothing. I'm not giving you $12.
I'll actually keep my dish and not visit that party.
I just won't go to the party. Absolutely. No, I'm not giving you $12 for someone. If you're telling me, I also have a problem with authority, but if you're telling me to do something, I'm out. So I definitely think she is in the right, and I think that the other person sucks. So there's nothing wrong with asking for people to pitch in, but there's something wrong with telling people to pitch in. You can't do that. So, anyway, this was a really long video. It was 45 minutes long, so I hope you enjoyed. And let me know what you want to hear next. I'm going to do one on my own. That's Taylor Swift edition. Unless, did you want to be in that one? I don't think you wanted
to.
Yeah.
I can skip that.
He didn't really want to be in that video, but that one probably is coming in the next couple weeks anyway. So thank you for watching. Thank you, Nick, for being here.
I was here.
Yay! And we will see you in the next one. Bye!
Bye, guys.